Good morning, and thanks to those of you who have joined us so far. We're going to get started in just another minute or two, so please just hang tight for now. Thanks. All right, I think we will go ahead and get started. So good morning, and thank you all for joining us for this session in our Enabling Canadian Innovation Virtual Launch Conference. We're joined today by Mike Semick and Connor Houghton, two of our account managers here at CAD Micro. Before we get things started, there are a couple of real quick housekeeping items to mention. So this session kicks off day 3 in our virtual launch series with 1 more day and 7 more sessions taking place after this one. If you haven't already done so, you can still register for any of the remaining breakout sessions by visiting our website, cadmicro.com, and checking out our online calendar. Even if you can't attend live, registering will ensure that you get the recording afterwards. This year, since we can't get together in person, we still wanted to take the opportunity to thank you for joining us by giving you a chance to win some awesome prizes. So we want to hear from you. During any of our sessions, including this one right now, anyone that asks a question to our presenters will be entered into a raffle to win an Ecobee Smart Thermostat. The draw will be pulled on Friday, and the winner will be notified over email. So all you have to do to enter is to come with questions for us and our presenters. You'll see a questions box in the GoToWebinar panel, so simply enter your questions in there at any time, and we'll do our best to get to them all at the end. If we do run out of time, we'll definitely follow up with you afterwards. Lastly, after our sessions wrap up at the end of the week, we'll be sending you all a very brief survey to get a little bit of feedback on our first ever all virtual launch event. There are 3 more prizes up for grabs there, so definitely check your junk folder and fill it out for a chance to win. All right, without further ado, I will pass things over to Mike and Connor to get us started.
Perfect. Thank you, Jess, and welcome everyone to the webinar. I hope everyone's enjoying their coffee on this rainy morning here. So DraftSight is, the affordable little brother, as we like to call it, to SolidWorks. And so, today we're really excited to kind of go through some of the features, and it's a feature-rich 2D and 3D drafting program, and so there's been a lot of updates to the software, and we're really excited to share that with you in today's session. So before we get started, or as a good way for us to get started, we have a really quick video that we just wanted to start the presentation off. So I'm going to have Connor get that started for us.
Yeah, we'll jump on this quickly here. Let's just get the video started.
Design professionals, known by their talent and their tools. Professional tools, creating first-class results. Professional designers demand the best and choose DraftSight, a 2D drafting and 3D design experience. Easy to learn, easy to use, so you can design faster. Whether you're in the office, at home, or in the field, everything you need is at your fingertips. Streamline the design process and get professional results in record time. Integrate your favorite design tools. Increase your productivity. Share your designs and collaborate. With DraftSight, you can easily bring your designs to life. Seamlessly transition from other CAD applications. Harness a robust, fast, diverse platform to unlock your creativity for any industry. Your design, your choice, your CAD. DraftSight. Learn more and buy now. DraftSight.com.
Awesome. Great. So the next thing we want to do here, we just have a really quick couple poll questions for our audience today, just so that we can get a better feel for who's joined us today and what CAD software you're currently using. So we'll get that started.
All right, guys, so you should see the poll pop up there on your screen now. So we're expecting quite a few SolidWorks users here, but definitely interested in what your primary CAD tool is today. So we'll just give a few more seconds with that up there, give you a chance to get your answer in, and then we'll take a look at the results. All right. So let's take a look. As expected, close to 60% are SolidWorks users, but definitely a few that are primarily using DraftSight and also AutoCAD. So, okay, thanks for that info. We do have one more quick poll question for you here. So for those of you who are using DraftSight today, we're wondering what you're primarily using it for. We know that we've got customers that are using it primarily for 2D drafting, some on the electrical side, PNIDs, or if you're not using it today, go ahead and just indicate that there, and we'll give you a couple more seconds with this one. All right, it looks like most of the votes are in, so I'm going to go ahead and close that, and let's take a look. All right, so it looks like most of our audience are using it for 2D drafting and some for electrical design as well. So I'll go ahead and pass it back to you guys, Connor and Mike.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone. Yeah, it's really great to see some of the results and how people are leveraging 2D drafting or some of the tools here in different ways. So it's really good insight there. So while we get into the meat and potatoes here of the presentation and start off here, I think it's important that we kind of address what is DraftSight and what are the benefits of it. So DraftSight is a feature-rich 2D and 3D CAD solution. It's for architects, engineers, construction service providers, as well as CAD users, designers, educators, and even hobbyists. So DraftSight allows users to create, edit, view, and mark up any kind of DWG file, and has a familiar user interface that facilitates a quick transition from a user's current CAD application. What are some of the benefits of it? So again, we kind of touched on it, but some of the main things that we kind of see and we focus on are, for example, it offers a cost-effective 3D design tool for CNC machining and 3D printing. As kind of mentioned a little bit, is that it's a cost-effective solution for companies needing to do, electrical schematic design or P&ID drawings and things of that nature. And again, you're able to reuse legacy data, drawings, and reliable DWG data compatibility. So, those are just some of the main features that are, benefits of using DraftSight. And things that we think are important and that we see that our customers find that are important with using DraftSight. So moving on, we're going to have a quick look at how our customers are currently using DraftSight right now. So, again, as kind of mentioned, our customers currently use DraftSight as their go-to software to edit, view, mark up 2D and 3D DWG files. So it's a very familiar user interface that looks like the competition to keep a minimal learning curve. So the biggest benefit is the many licensing options that gives a flexibility that you need. So there's lots of options, and depending on what those requirements are, we can definitely find a solution that works best for what those requirements are. And for example, as a comparison, AutoCAD recently, quite honestly, it's been pretty unreliable in recent years with some of their pricing and licensing structures. And there really hasn't been too much significant updates to the software in recent years. And so that's what some of the feedback that we've had some of our customers who have told us that they've made the switch over to DraftSight. So, again, going back to how our customers are using DraftSight, again, one thing here we have is manufacturing. So a lot of companies use it for, they like to have 2D drawings on the shop floor. And some recently have been looking to use 3D drawings for a little bit more detail and accuracy when on the shop floor. So again, DraftSight's a great tool for that with the added 3D capabilities. Again, another way that customers are using it is also through electrical schematics and P&ID drawing. So very similar to AutoCAD, right? We see a lot of companies that use AutoCAD for electrical schematics. The same thing applies here. While there is a SOLIDWORKS electrical schematic tool, sometimes for some electrical applications, that might be a little bit much, and it is an investment. And so this provides a suitable and affordable option to allow you to do electrical schematic design while not needing the full robust capabilities of something like a full-on SOLIDWORKS electrical schematic tool. So those are just some of the ways that our customers are currently using DraftSight. And so I'm going to turn it over to Connor now, who's going to look at some of the DWG files and some of the important information there.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mike. To start off, I'd like to talk about what people think the most popular CAD format there is out there, and you might be surprised or you might guess it. Actually, DWGs are still the most popular format of CAD used around the world. AutoCAD and AutoCAD LTE actually attributed almost $1 billion in sales towards the company as a whole for 2020, which makes up over 30% of their revenue. This kind of speaks volumes to the incredible presence of 2D drawings and design that it still has in engineering and design. You may be surprised to know that these numbers are still climbing. For 2D design, it's still growing because the necessity in the market is still there, and more students coming up in universities and colleges are being taught CAD than ever before. As a method of providing an alternative to AutoCAD, Dassault Systems developed way back in the early 2000s their own 2D design tool called DraftSight. So let's go over some of the new functionality in recent years that has been added to DraftSight. We've come a long way since the original release, which was pretty bare bones, and the capabilities now are fairly mind-blowing compared to what we were looking at 2 decades ago. In 2019, as some of you may remember, we went through the most significant upgrade in DraftSight history that saw some of the most requested functionalities by customers added to the software. DraftSight now allows you to create, edit, view, mark up any kind of 2D and 3D DWGs, which makes it easier, faster, more efficient than ever. Its familiar interface across all CAD formats allows users from many different backgrounds to pick up the software and be able to create drawings with ease. The different options as far as packaging goes, which I'll go over shortly here, allows companies to decide exactly what functionality you need and optimize your costs as far as licensing goes. We'll go through the specifics of those packages in a sec here. The increased 3D capabilities that were added back the other year introduced seamless integration for team members using SOLIDWORKS and other 3D CAD tools as a more basic 3D design tool without the same costs associated with it. So let's look at the desktop DraftSight packages we have out there. In very Dassault Systems fashion, there are 3 different package types for DraftSight licensing. Similar to SolidWorks, this is divided up into standard, professional, and premium, each of which comes with its own different list price and functionality that allows for differences between users. For standard, you'll be looking at your very basic 2D modeling for parts and assemblies. This is a familiar interface similar to AutoCAD as well. Allows you to generate 2D DWGs, and likely was many of our first introductions to CAD with those basic capabilities. This is the bread and butter for all your designers and engineers around the world. And as mentioned earlier, there's still a massive place for this type of product in engineering architecture for strictly just this 2D design. When we're looking at the professional package, you're looking at all the same capabilities included in standard, as well as introduction to more time-saving options like toolbox, holes, balloons, bombs, welding, and surface finish symbols. So that's additional things to help you design a little bit quicker there. You also gain many tools for users for collaboration with SolidWorks users as well. Professional also includes snap features that will reduce design times like power trim, drawing comparison, image tracing. And so these streamlined workflows for manufacturing. There is also a G-code generator, an open API if you want to do any custom work within DraftSight as well, and table and cell connections for formulas you create within Excel or Excel sheets. And then finally, we're looking at premium here on the right. Again, it includes all the same functionality as standard and professional, as well as a bit of a massive step up as far as functionality goes with 3D modeling capabilities. So this allows for basic geometric shapes with methods like extrude, revolve, unions, subtraction. The 2D constraints tool allows you to control drawing entities parametrically, like you would with SolidWorks, by specifying geometric dimensional properties of entities. This premium option allows you for even more increased collaboration with SolidWorks designers or any other 3D design tool, because the 3D aspects allow for additional collaboration between the teams without actually having to pay full pop for an additional license of SolidWorks or what other tool you use. Please note that these licenses are all purchased online, so not directly through your reseller, but we would be able to provide your own links through either your account manager, or you can access them through the CAD microsite. Next, as far as options for DraftSight is network DraftSight packages. So these are designated or called DraftSight Enterprise licensing options, and they provide similar capabilities to the desktop options I mentioned before, but Enterprise is either going to be Enterprise as similar to DraftSight Professional, and Enterprise Plus, which would be similar to DraftSight Premium. The differences lie in the actual license management. Desktop options are installed on a computer and allocated to only that user. Enterprise options are operate the same way as if any of you have network licenses for SolidWorks. You install DraftSight on as many machines as you would like, as long as they're connected to the local server. The server then manages the allocation of those licenses through a check-in and check-out system. This provides additional flexibility for teams that don't need to allocate licenses all the time for any specific users and don't need to go through those standalone licensing options. We're gonna go over a quick video here that'll show you a little bit more about the interface of DraftSight and show you a little bit about what that looks like. Thank you, Jess. So, as you may have seen there was a little hint in the video we had going there. Let me, perfect. DraftSight actually does have an option on the cloud. So that's a common question we get, whether or not DraftSight at all will be included in the 3D Experience Cloud platform. And yes, there are a couple options. You saw a little bit of the interface through that video, but there are two options I'll go over today that are currently included with the 3D Experience Cloud platform. So again, more options depending on what would work specifically for your team. Both, you will need your standard connections to the cloud, which are going to be the roles for Collaborative Business Innovator and Collaborative Industry Innovator. These roles allow you to store data on the cloud and work with all the collaboration functionality that we've been over in other sessions through our launch event here. So if you want to learn more about those, we do have recordings of those sessions and would be more than happy to share links for those as well. On the left, you're going to be looking at your first option, which is the 3D Experience DraftSight role. This is a named user who is given access to the installation of DraftSight that is based on the complete drafting capabilities of Premium, the Premium desktop option I mentioned before. The second option is you take a version of DraftSight Desktop, as we mentioned before, and then you make a connection through the cloud to the Collaborative Designer for DraftSight role. Again, this is a named user with your desktop DraftSight with a named user bridge, call it, access to the cloud. So it's a connector or a bridge, however you like to call it. This functionality is no different than the roles mentioned earlier. So if you have a desktop DraftSight standard, the connector doesn't change any of the functionality with that. It just gives you connection to data and collaboration over the cloud. These roles don't overlap with any other roles on the platform, like the 3D Sculptor, 3D Creator, or 3D Experience SolidWorks roles. It is held for users that strictly design for DraftSight with 2D or 3D DWG for the platform. So with that being said, we're going to jump into a couple questions we have at the end here. I'll pass it over to Jess. She's got some of those from coming in from you guys.
Perfect. Thank you, Mike and Connor. That was great. As promised, we do have some time for some questions and answers. I know that there are a few in the queue already, so I think we'll go ahead and get started, but feel free to keep them coming. So the first question we have here, Connor, I'll throw it your way. The question is, does DraftSight work with my PDM and revision control?
Yeah, so any file output from DraftSight will work with your revision control, your workflow that you have set up for PDM already. So that could be your naming schemes. Everything you already have functioning for PDM works completely with DraftSight as well.
Okay, great. Thank you. Mike, we'll throw this one your way. The question is, what if two engineers are working on the same file at the same time?
Yeah, great question. So built into DraftSight, there's actually a reserve and unreserved feature. So that allows you to basically intelligently place revisions on files and merge revisions together. And so that just provides that control that you need between engineers on a project, and so you can kind of merge everything together when you need to do that at the end. So yeah, there's a great feature built into DraftSight there for that.
Perfect. Connor, another question for you here. How do you share files from the platform? How do you know that it's secure?
Right. So with the platform, you can share files through a secure link, and the person who makes the link gets to decide kind of who has access to it at any time. So if you would share a file with somebody and then decide later on that you no longer want them to have access to it, at any point you can decide to limit or restrict control or allow that person to share the file with anyone else and give them a link as well.
Great, thank you. Mike, it looks like we've had a couple questions on the same topic, so I'm going to summarize them into one question. I've heard that I no longer order my DraftSight standard license through you guys. Is that right?
Yeah, so there's been a few changes, but yes. So basically, the correct answer here is that you can either purchase them directly. So standard pro and premium DraftSight license can either be done through DraftSight directly itself, or you can order them through our website. There's a link on our website. And then if you are looking at the enterprise options, then definitely reach out to your account manager and we can provide options for you that way. So yeah, that would be the best way to go about that.
Perfect, thanks, Mike. And for anyone interested, for the question askers there, I did just throw a direct link into the chat here, so you can go ahead and check that out if you're interested. One more question for you, Connor. Question is, can I get a free trial of DraftSight?
Yes, we would be able to send a link for the free trial option with DraftSight. You just need to provide information of kind of anything you need to provide for to get that approval, and then you would be provided a link for the installation.
Perfect, thank you. All right, I don't think we have any more questions coming through. We'll stay on here for just another minute or two just to see if there are any additional questions. Happy to answer them for you guys. But in the meantime, while I give you a final chance to think if you have any questions here, just a reminder, like I mentioned earlier, we do have sessions running throughout the rest of today and tomorrow. If you haven't registered yet, you can visit our website. You can actually just use that same link that I threw in the chat there, and you can go ahead and visit our online calendar and see if there are any other sessions that interest you there. If there are any sessions that happened earlier this week that you did miss out on, not to worry, we will be sharing links to recordings for all of the sessions with you guys after the fact. So if there was one you missed, don't worry, we'll be sending that your way shortly. It doesn't look like we have any other questions coming through, so I think we'll go ahead and give everybody back a half an hour in their Wednesday here. So once again, thank you very much, Mike and Connor, for a great presentation, and thank you all very much to our attendees for spending a little bit of your morning here with us. We certainly hope to see you at some of our other sessions today and tomorrow, and don't forget to keep an eye out for the survey that we'll be sending you guys for a chance to win some cool prizes for you and your team. Thanks again, and take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.